ちすぎてダメかと思った。めんどくさいわね。何なの？キャンドルスクエア所属の高貴な竜族蝶がつく天才アルデバランの執行者？さあ、誰のことかしら。普通にティリアって呼びなさい。こんにちは。今なら違う。長丁場は無理って言ったでしょ。
Let's fucking go, man. Dude, I got so lucky here, man. My goodness. Absolutely beautiful, man. Beautiful. Let's go, man. Now I can actually save the PD for the anniversary character, man. This is freaking amazing, man. That was beautiful summon, man. We one-tapped her and we one-tapped her card, man. Beautiful. That's all we needed, man. Now we're gonna build her and we're gonna do a quick review of her, okay? Actually, before that though, I do want to do a couple summon here. So I have a temple here and I got a temple here. The one card I am still missing from this list right now is probably let me show you guys. I'm only missing this right here, the perfect bunny girl card right here. That's the only card I want from here. But let's see, man. As you guys can see, right? Let me show you guys. Right, as you guys can see, Rosaria card is actually in the rate up right here, man. That's actually beautiful. Let me see what's the standard rates right here. See, Rosaria is here as well. Absolutely beautiful, right? So I wouldn't mind getting a dupe of Rosaria as well. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see. Let's go. And what do we get? Okay, we got something. That's good. All right, what we got here? Okay, we got. Okay, I'll take it. Let's see. 1, 2.
広告が復興するためなら何でもできます。
I'll take that Freya card as well. That's fine, I guess. Can we pull Rosaria from here? There's no way, right? Let's see. Dude, I can't believe they added Rosaria here, actually. She's chilling right here. Wow. Okay. Let's go. Alright. Just gonna load. Alright. Boom, 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 boom. And let's try to get a character here, hopefully. Okay, we didn't get anything, unfortunately. Okay. I'm just gonna skip this, of course. Alright. Anyways, there you go. Okay, so let's talk about Tyria, okay, and what she does and everything. Okay, so this is the build pretty much I went with. Right now she have 68 crit rate and then about 100 crit damage, which is really nice, and then we have a really good amount of effective chance. Okay, and there's the reason why we have a high effective chance. Okay, let's talk about her resonance as always, and then we're gonna talk about her kit and everything. Okay, so resonance 6, if we go over here, it will give her HP boost right here. Right, and then she also gets attack booster right here as well, and then her resonance 10 gives her attack increase and more attack right here. Right, so yeah, very simple right there. Now let's talk about her kit and her passive and everything. Okay, she does not need dupe in order to utilize her passive, because she already comes with a passive, which is really nice. Okay, so as you guys can see, right, let's talk about the first one. Right, so the first passive is penetrates 15% of damage defense if the enemy has Thorn of Ruin undispellable. This Thorn of Ruin, you're gonna get it through her ultimate. Okay, and then when using Prelude to the End or Requiem of Ruin, which is her basic attack or skill right here. Okay, so when she uses that, right, inflicts the enemy with Thorn of Ruins undispellable with 100% chance after using Prelude to the End. Right, this is her basic attack. Okay, and then triggers Requiem of Ruin if the enemy's Thorn of Ruins undispellable is at max stack after using Prelude of the End. Okay, so that's pretty much what this means is she works off of having 3 stacks of this Thorn of Ruin. Okay, and then when you use her basic attack, what she ended up doing is she actually gonna follow up with a skill called Requiem of Ruin. Okay, and this thing hits like a truck. Okay, so if you have 3 stacks of this thing, you use her basic attack and she's gonna follow up with her Requiem of Ruin, doing like a massive damage. Okay, as you can see, right, if the enemy has Thorn of Ruin undispellable at max stack, right? So very, very good right here. This Thorn of Ruin is the debuff you're gonna be applying to the enemy. Okay, now let's talk about her max passive right here. Pretty much gives her a 15% increased attack. That's pretty much it, right? The rest is fine, right? The 100% chance and everything, you do not need any dupe to activate those, because you're still going to get it at dupe 0. Okay, but yeah, you're only going to get the 15% increased attack. Okay, so you guys do not need to build what I'm saying, attack percent like dupes on her. Okay, just use her as dupe 0 and you guys will be fine. Okay, and then let's talk about her basic attack right here, which is a Prelude to the End. Tyria charges towards the enemy with her Grey Sword, grants herself 1 stack of ignition, right? And this ignition does matter. Okay, and then self-toughness fixed damage temporary increase by 1 on attack when you Nova Bursted, which is pretty simple, right? And then this thing is pretty much our main damage dealing card. Okay, what it does, it says binds the enemy with thorny vines and swing a Grey Sword with grace. Deal 10% additional damage on attack for each stack of Thorn of Ruin. So pretty much, if you have max stack of the Thorn of Ruin debuff, yeah, she's gonna be doing 10% additional damage based on the stack, right? This thing stacks up to 3, so you could do 30% additional damage. Okay, at max stack, okay, which is really good, right? And then she deals an additional 50% damage if the enemy is Defender class, right? So she is able to pretty much kill tanks really well. Okay, because she does 50% extra damage, like increased damage toward Defender class, right? So Emily and stuff like that, yeah, any tank will be in like a disadvantage against her. Okay, which is very good. And then removes Thorn of Ruin and Dispel from the enemy after attacking, deals 20% increased damage if ignition is at max stack on attack, right? So pretty much, look at this, right? Max stack on attack, and she also removes all stack of ignition after attacking, grants herself speed up for 3 turns if the skill is not an this skill is not an additionally triggered skill. Okay, so if you just use this skill on her turn, you're gonna get a speed up as well. Okay, so yeah, so her skill right here pretty much works off of 2 different stacks, right? The first is a Thorn of Runes stack up to 3, so if you have max stack, you're gonna be doing 30% additional damage. And then if you have max ignition stack, you're gonna be doing even more damage, right? The 20% increased damage, right? So yeah, this thing hits like a truck, okay? If you have a Thorn of Ruin at max stack and Ignition at max stack as well, okay? So definitely you want to save this skill until you are able to get 5 stack of Ignition, okay? Pretty much, right? Yeah, so this Ignition can stack up to 5 times, so you want to save this skill once you have 5 stack of this and then 3 stack of the Thorn of Ruin right here, okay? And then you just go be nuking with the wizard. So very good right here. And then when, on Nova Burst, self toughness fixed damage temporarily increased by 1 on attack. Very good, right? And then we have our ultimate. Slashes through space with a great sword, dealing massive damage to all enemies. Grants self shatter. Shatter is a crazy new thing they added for 2 turns, okay? And then grants self 2 stack of Ignition, which is really good. And then inflict all enemies with 1 stack of Thorn of Ruin, okay? This undispellable debuff, okay, which is insane. And that's also why you guys gonna need a lot of like effect hit chance on her to be able to land the Thorn of Ruin, okay? Against enemies with like a high effect resistance and stuff like that, okay? And then with 100% chance, and then inflict the enemy with the highest defense, 3 stack of Thorn of Ruin undispellable, right? So yeah, absolutely broken, right? And if there's an enemy with like a higher defense, she actually gonna get 3 stack right away, okay? But she's gonna be applying 1 stack to the other teammate, okay? Which is absolutely broken. So yeah, she's definitely here to destroy any tanks, okay? She's absolutely broken against tanks, okay? And then we have Nova Burst, temporarily deal 1 more toughness fixed damage on attack, and grants self an extra turn after attacking, which is crazy, man. So what you guys can do is you can use Nova Burst on here, use his ultimate, he gets extra turn, use a basic attack, and then you're gonna be able to get a bunch of Ignition and Thorn of Ruin stacks, okay? So yeah, very strong skill. So that way you guys are able to set this her second skill up way faster, okay? So this is amazing right here. This is absolutely broken. Probably one of the best Nova Burst effects, okay? So yeah, very strong right here, okay? So yeah, very simple to use. Pretty much you start the fight with her ultimate, and then you use her basic attack, you stack the Ignition stacks, and then you also stack the Thorn of Ruins, and once you have 5 stack of Ignition and 3 stack of the Thorn of Ruin, you're gonna use this skill to just nuke, right? And then when you upgrade this thing, actually you definitely want to upgrade this thing, okay? You're gonna get a cooldown decrease as well on level 6 right here, okay? Same thing with her ultimate right here, you're gonna get cooldown reduction right here. So yeah, just make sure to do this, okay? And your highest level skill should be her skill right here, because this is what she's gonna be using to do the most damage with her kit, okay? So yeah, very strong character right here. Now let's talk about what kind of gear you guys want on her, okay? I think one of the best gear you guys can use on her is probably the crit damage effective chance gear, okay? This is amazing for her because you're gonna get the crit rate, right? With the bonus stats, and you're also gonna get crit damage, so you are able to get a good amount of crit damage on her, so that way when she crit, she gonna be doing a lot more damage, okay? So crit damage effective chance, amazing. You guys can also do the crit rate effective chance gear as well if you guys want, but I figure I just gave her this. I have this on Rosaria, for example, right? The crit rate effective chance. You guys can do that if you guys want, okay? But for me, I went with a crit damage effective chance gear. You definitely want the effective chance on her because so you'll be able to land her, what I'm saying, skill right here. So if you look at her, Thorn of Ruin right here, so let's look at what the Shatter does actually, right? I forgot to mention. So with Shatter, what this does, it increases attack by 10% and deal 1 more toughness fixed damage on attack, which is really good debuff right here, okay? I mean buff right here. So yeah, she's able to, pretty much destroy a bunch of tanks, okay? She's really good against tanks. So I think Tyria is one of those characters that's going to be absolutely broken in PvP and PvE as well, okay? So very strong character, okay? And then if you look at this Thorn of Ruin right here, slowly becomes exposed to lethal danger, right? Stack up to 3 times, ignore accuracy. So you guys might not need as much effect hit chance, because she actually ignores effect resistance and accuracy right here if you have max stack of this, okay? Which is amazing right here. And then immunity, right? She also, yeah, so she ignores accuracy, effect resistance, and immunity, which is crazy, man. And then removes this effect if the caster is defeated. Makes sense, right? So yeah, very strong. So if you guys want to utilize this right here, this effect right here that ignores accuracy, effect resistance, and stuff like that, then you guys can actually just go ahead and give her just a straight up like crit damage gear right here, okay? to get that 40% increased crit damage, or you guys can just go for a crit rate build right here, okay? Because she's able to ignore effect resistance if you play her right, okay? So you guys can do that, but for me, I like to play safe, so I just went with, you know, the crit damage, effective chance gear, okay? For when it comes to, you know, bonus stats, you definitely want crit rate, crit damage, attack, okay? Those are the main thing you guys want, and speed is also going to be very important on her, okay? So yeah, speed, crit rate, crit damage, very good right here, okay? You guys can go for like effect hit chance if you guys want, right? HP, but the main ones are crit rate, crit damage, and speed, okay? And attack, okay? Those are the four main ones, okay? Same thing right here, okay? So yeah, pretty simple right here. And then this one always gives you a speed, which is really good. But when it comes to the ring, definitely attack percentage is the way to go, because again, she scales with attack, so having high attack makes sense, right? And then for the necklace, right, for me, since I'm going with a crit damage gear, I went with a crit rate. If you guys are going for a crit rate set, then you guys can go for a crit damage main stats, okay, if you guys want, okay? But outside of that, yeah, very simple, right? So you either want crit rate, crit damage, or if you guys want her to go fast, you guys can go for speed here if you guys want, because in PvP she most likely gonna get cycled if she doesn't have high speed and stuff like that. So yeah, you guys can do, you know what I'm saying, speed right here. And of course, for 2 set, we always gonna go for Valor set for any DPS cards, okay? So yeah, that one you guys don't need to worry about that, okay? Valor set always way to go, okay? But yeah, she got different builds you guys can do with her, right? It depends on what kind of builds you guys want on her. You guys can do, you know, do whatever you want, right? Because again, you guys can build her with a full crit damage set, a full crit rate set right here, or you can build her with a crit rate effective chance set right here, or if you guys are like me, build her with crit damage, you know what I'm saying, crit damage, what do you call it, crit damage effective chance, okay? So yeah, 4 different builds you guys can do on her, okay? But let's talk about her Arcana though, right? Do you guys need her Arcana, right? So if you look at the save that I used right here, so I did use her own Arcana to, you know, get this save data, but do you guys need this? Probably not, okay? You guys do not need her Arcana to build her, right? Because her Arcana gives very similar stuff. Yeah, so her Arcana gives similar effect as let me show you guys, okay? If we go back to the Arcana list right here, it gives similar effect as this one, okay? So if you guys have this specific Arcana, you guys actually do not need her Arcana, okay? This is probably one of the Arcanas you guys can kind of skip over, but I went for it, you know. But if you guys are able to get it, congrats, man, because it's actually really good, okay? Because it gives you attack percentage 6% and also crit rate, right? So very good right here, okay? Yeah, this is probably one of the best Arcanas you guys can put on anyone, because it actually works with any character, okay? Which is freaking amazing. But yeah, but you guys don't need it, okay? If you guys have the other one, okay? But yeah, outside of that, that is it for the video. You guys, team wise, for Tyria, you guys can use her with, you know, most characters, but again, you know, same as most of the characters, you guys, you know, her she works really well with a mono team, okay? If you guys, you know, care about building the ignition stack, they are so loud when they talk, guys, okay? But yeah, if you guys want to build the ignition stack as fast as possible, then you guys can use it with a mono team. But outside of that, you guys can use it with any team you guys want, okay? Of course, buffers will be using her, yeah, like I said, using her with buffers is gonna be really good, because she does some crazy amount of damage, and if you guys are able to buff her damage, again, right, she's gonna be nuking like crazy, right? So buffers like Charlotte, buffers like any of the bunny girls, right, that buff, right? You got the bunny girl Claire, who also buffs right here. You got the bunny girl Freya, who also buffs as well. So yeah, again, right, any buffers works really well with her, but I like using her with Rosaria, okay? Just to aura farm, okay? Because those two, they look amazing together, okay? I like using her with Rosaria, of course. But yeah, that is it for the video, and that's it for, you know, Tyria summon and review, okay? Let me know if you guys end up getting her, and if you guys got lucky or not, and let me know what you guys think about her, okay? I think I freaking love her design, and I love how she works, okay? She does some crazy damage, which I like. And yeah, that is it for the video. Thank you for watching, and of course, don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and bye.